This is News 25 with Deanna O'Donnell and Missy Kohler. News 25, local news you can count on. Today's news is brought to you in part by Dr. George Leeks, Pahrump's optometrist since 1990, offering full-spectrum eye care for children and adults. Call today, 727-8300. News is also brought to you by J.K. Nelson Law. Call 727-9900 today for your free consultation. If you need a lawyer, you need Nelson. This segment of the news is brought to you by Silver State Health, bringing quality medical and psychiatric care to Pahrump. Call 775-505-1214 for an appointment.
Welcome to News 25. I'm Deanna O'Donnell.
I'm Missy Kohler, and today's already February 1st.
Can you believe that? Well, Cole Ingleson was in Judge Lane's courtroom today via television for his sentencing for the 2017 murder of 3-year-old Yessenia Camp.
Ingleson was found guilty for the murder of the little girl this past November. The injuries inflicted on the child were so extensive that the medical examiner had to list the injuries by region. She sustained injuries including a skull fracture, hemorrhages in both eyes, lung damage, along with dozens of bruises. It was noted that when Ingleson began attacking the child, he weighed 350 pounds. The Camp family filled half of the gallery, awaiting their chance to give victim impact statements. Disappointment spread across the family and friends as defense attorney Daniel Martinez asked the court for a continuance on the sentencing. Martinez said that the defense was still working on gathering character references for Ingleson prior to his punishment. Judge Lane seemed to sense the feeling of setback in the courtroom and explained to all that while he didn't have to continue for an extended period, but he did have to grant the continuance so that the defense had the time needed to prepare. He said that if he didn't, it could be challenged on appeal. Neither Judge Lane or the defense opposed those wishing to offer impact statements today and welcomed them all to come back on March 8th to provide their statements. 2 family members decided to speak up today. Yessenia's big brother Dwight bravely read statements written by his aunt and grandmother that could not be in the courtroom today, and a statement was also read by Yessenia's older sister Nickole Robinson. Robinson read her statement through tears as she spoke about her baby sister.
I had to outlive my sister, my mom had to outlive her daughter, my grandma had to outlive her granddaughter, and my great-grandma had to outlive her great-granddaughter. My great-grandma isn't here to talk, but I am, so I will. She outlived a lot of people in her life, but the one funeral she should have never had to go to was the funeral of her great-granddaughter. This has gone on for 3.5 years, almost 4. There should be no more continuation, no more time. This should be done and over with, and I want to move on with my life and move on from this. I have to wear my little sister around my neck for the rest of my life. No more time, no more continuation, no more leeway. Let this be over and done with.
Nickole, if you're willing to offer an opinion, what would you like to see done when the judge sentences?
Life with no parole.
The defense asked for 30 days to finish their information gathering, and Judge Lane granted their request. Cole Ingleson will face the Camp family once again on March 8th at 11 a.m. And once again, they will show up in force to be a voice for little Yessenia and hear the penalty imposed. Prosecutors are seeking the maximum penalty of life in prison without the possibility of parole.
A man and his dogs have been displaced due to a fire that damaged their Pahrump home.
Firefighters were called to a residence at the corner of Lola Lane and White Street in Pahrump early Monday morning, but authorities say the man who lived there locked the gate, causing a temporary delay for fire crews trying to access the property. But once inside, they were able to quickly knock down the flames. Pahrump Valley Fire and Rescue says their preliminary investigation finds the fire was sparked by a candle inside the trailer. The resident and his pets were able to escape the fire, and firefighters were able to keep the flames from spreading to other structures on the property. No injuries are reported.
Well, the Nye County Sheriff's Office is investigating a weekend crash near the intersection of Highway 372 and Blagg Road here in Pahrump.
Both drivers of a 2-vehicle crash on Saturday afternoon on Highway 372 and Blagg Road declined to be transported to local medical facilities following a crash. One driver told News 25 on scene that they were concerned about a person underneath his car doing mechanical work on the side of the roadway, and that distracted them, which caused the crash with another vehicle. Nye County Sheriff's Office deputies are in charge of the investigation into this crash. Highway 372 was temporarily closed down during the accident investigation. Another party stated that after the crash, his wife's airbag deployed and then an electrical fire started. Pahrump Valley Fire and Rescue were also dispatched to the scene of the crash.
A two-vehicle accident this afternoon sends one to Desert View Hospital.
One person was transported from a two-vehicle crash this afternoon on Highway 160 and Mesquite Avenue. Nevada Highway Patrol, Nye County Sheriff's Office deputies, and auxiliary units arrived on scene. Traffic was shut down on southbound Highway 160 and diverted around the crash while the investigation and cleanup was conducted by troopers. Pahrump Valley Fire and Rescue were on scene and transported the one victim to Desert View Hospital.
Details on a stolen vehicle pursuit coming up right after the break.
You're watching News 25, the most recognized and farthest reaching local news in Nye County. News 25, local news you can count on. This segment of the news is brought to you by Pahrump Veterans of Foreign Wars Post 10,054, open to our veterans and our community. Stop by or give them a call.
Welcome back to News 25. While the SEC continues to monitor hot stocks, consumer spending falls for the second month in a row, and a record number of Americans signed contracts to buy homes in December.
Topping our news, game on. Shares of GameStop and AMC theaters are back in play. Young traders are flocking to heavily shorted stocks, creating massive losses for hedge funds and big investors on Wall Street. The SEC is out with a warning that it is closely monitoring the extreme price volatility of certain stocks trading prices. The SEC stands ready to take aggressive enforcement action if there's market manipulation. Checking the economy, consumer spending fell for the second month in a row. It slipped by 0.2% in December as Americans pulled back on spending at stores, restaurants, and even hospitals had a decline as patients stayed away out of fear of contracting coronavirus. And a record number of Americans signed contracts to buy homes in December. The National Association of Realtors Index dipped 0.3% to 125.5. The median price of a home edged up to $309,000.
Traffic was blocked during an investigation into an accident in pursuit of several suspects near the center of town.
4 people have been captured by the Nye County Sheriff's Office and California Highway Patrol after a vehicle and foot pursuit extended from Pahrump into California. Saturday morning, Nye County Sheriff's Office Deputy Joseph McGill located a suspicious vehicle and wanted person at AutoZone on Highway 160 in Charleston Park. The deputy asked for and received assistance from additional deputies who surrounded the area and attempted to make contact with the occupants of 2 cars, one described as a silver Mercury and the other as an orange and black Mustang. The driver and passenger in the Mustang fled, followed by police in a high-speed pursuit throughout Pahrump and into California via Highway 372. The occupants of the Mercury attempted to flee in the vehicle, which crashed into a Nye County Sheriff's Office patrol vehicle in the parking lot of AutoZone, injuring an officer. Pahrump Valley Fire and Rescue was called to the scene for that deputy. The female occupant of the Mercury was arrested at that time. The male took off on foot towards Pahrump Valley Auto Plaza, where the man, who had an extraditable warrant out of California, dropped a bag and a gun on the side of the roadway behind the Best Western Hotel. McGill apprehended the suspect inside the business and held him down with the assistance of the dealership staff. California Highway Patrol Air Unit followed the Mustang into Barstow, California, where CHP officers took the other 2 suspects into custody following a short foot pursuit.
Well, a weekend accident at Death Valley National Park has claimed the life of a California climber.
38-year-old Justin Ibershoff of Los Angeles died Saturday when he fell while climbing in Deimos Canyon. That's about halfway between Badwater and Funeral Peak. Authorities say Ibershoff was descending with 6 friends, most of whom had climbed the same route several times before. His friends say it appears he stepped on a rock that moved, triggering a rock slide that swept Ibershoff past 2 other climbers and over the edge of a 95-foot dry fall. The other climbers called for help, then assessed Ibershoff's condition before continuing to descend due to continuing rockfall. A Navy helicopter was able to reach Ibershoff a few hours after the fall, but he had already died. His body was recovered Sunday. The National Park Service says conditions in that area remain unstable, and rangers advise canyoneers to avoid the upper section of Deimos Canyon.
With a new animal shelter to be built, the Board of County Commissioners considered shelter management at their last meeting.
Because of a family member's involvement in the current animal shelter's management through Desert Haven Animal Society, Commissioner Carboni recused himself from discussion and vote on this agenda item. Commissioner Blundo praised the work being done by Desert Haven, but suggested that after the new shelter is open, the management contract should go out to bid. Blundo made a motion to approve the management contract for the shelter be awarded to Desert Haven Animal Society in the amount of $250,000 for 1 year, and at the end of that year the contract would be put out to bid. After a second on the motion, the board took public comment. All comments were in support of the work currently being done at the shelter and encouraged the contract to stay with Desert Haven Animal Society. Commissioner Cox reminded the commissioners that the contract had been out to bid before, and Desert Haven was, at that time, the lowest. When it came time to vote, commissioners voted for the contract award to Desert Haven Animal Society with the abstention of Commissioner Carboni.
Got more News 25 coming right up after the break. Stay with us.
You're watching News 25, brought to you by Mountain West Lawyer, Injury Attorneys, 727-9500. News 25, local news you can count on. News is brought to you by Canyon Ridge Periodontics. Give them a call at 702-966-0302.
Well, COVID-19 has weighed heavy on our hearts for months, but did you know the virus may actually harm your heart? A Cleveland Clinic survey shows some Americans don't realize the impact coronavirus can have on heart health.
Many people know that it affects the lungs, but it can also affect the heart, the pumping function of the heart, the clotting mechanisms in the blood. All of this put you to a very high risk of having cardiovascular problems.
According to the survey, a quarter of Americans mistakenly believe COVID-19 only affects the lungs, not the heart. But Dr. Kapadia says even people who have healthy hearts can experience heart problems due to COVID-19 infection. He adds those with heart disease are at particularly high risk for severe COVID infection and complications, but the survey shows more than 60% are unaware, and nearly 70% don't realize hypertension increases risk for a severe case of coronavirus. Stress can negatively affect your heart too. However, only about half of Americans are aware of the consequences.
People who have fear, people who have anger, it has been shown that both of these can lead to blood clotting mechanisms and can cause heart attacks. Stress of a serious nature, like with COVID, where you are seriously ill, can have high adrenaline levels, and that can create sometimes the heart pumping function to go down.
Dr. Kapadia says doctors' offices and hospitals have implemented COVID-19 safety measures to keep patients safe, so don't delay care for concerning symptoms or for checkups to help manage chronic heart or medical conditions.
A new study finds that Las Vegas is one of the most dog-friendly cities in America.
The study was conducted by Honest Paws, a Colorado company that specializes in CBD products for pets. Their analysis found that some cities allow Fido to live the American dream, while others leave much to be desired. Honest Paws used 9 factors to rank 50 major cities across the U.S. They used a point system to score each factor they considered important for dogs, including the number of pet-friendly restaurants, the number of pet-friendly hotels, number of dog parks, and the number of employed veterinarians. And when they were finished crunching the numbers, Tampa, Florida received the highest score. The rest of the top 5 includes Portland, Oregon, Orlando, Florida, Seattle, Washington, and St. Louis, Missouri. Las Vegas was ranked as the 17th best city for dogs. At the other end of the list, Indianapolis, Indiana received the lowest score, ranking them the worst city for dogs. Louisville, Kentucky, Milwaukee, Wisconsin, New York City, and Columbus, Ohio didn't score much better. To get a more in-depth look at the numbers, you can go online to honestpaws.com.
And, you know, Pahrump is the most dog-friendly town. Well, Desert Haven Animal Society has lots of cats in need of a loving home. For today's Save a Pet, Darby O'Donnell introduces us to one named Zeus.
Today's Save a Pet is proudly sponsored by Jason Ernest with Mountain West Lawyers. Call 775-727-9500.
Hi, I'm Darby here at Desert Haven Animal Society, and today we are joined with Zeus. Zeus is a 2-year-old gray tabby. He is beautiful, has wonderful, beautiful green eyes. Zeus actually is quite a little sad story because he has been adopted out 2 times and then returned because of the other animals in the home going and kind of bullying on him and stuff. He's an extremely friendly cat. He does get along well with dogs. He just wants a doggy that doesn't chase him all over the house and he can't escape from. Super sweet kitty. He's also declawed. So if you are someone who's trying to look for a nice cat that you know gets along well with dogs and that is just kind of going looking for his forever home and is also declawed, Zeus is definitely your kitty for that. Go and give Desert Haven Animal Society a call ahead of time to make an appointment, 775-751-7020, or you can look them up on their Facebook page at Desert Haven Animal Society.
News 25 Weather Cam is brought to you by Lerner and Rowe Injury Attorney's Office in Pahrump. In a wreck, need a check? Call 702-877-1500.
Oh, another beautiful day in Pahrump. Look at the sun just hitting the mountains. Just perfect. Love that. Gorgeous, huh?
Yes, it's beautiful.
Full weather forecast coming up in just a minute with John Kohler, so stick around.
News 25 Weather is brought to you by Dairy Council of Nevada. The splash of cream in your coffee, the dollop of sour cream on your burrito, the melted toasty cheese on your pizza. Undeniably delicious, undeniably dairy. Enjoy what's real.
Hi, good evening, Nevada. It's John Kohler from the KPVM Channel 25 Weather Studios. How is your Monday? Did you know it's National Freedom Day? I didn't know what this was, but Abraham Lincoln signed the 13th Amendment in 1865 abolishing slavery. That's Freedom Day, so that's today. And welcome to it, free and freaky up in Fernley, 47 degrees for a high today, 30 was your low. Out in Fallon, it was 55 degrees, 29 for a low today. Carson City, we saw 47 degrees, 35 for a low. In Tonopah, you're sneaking up on actually nice weather there. What's going on? 47 degrees for a high, 23 for a low. Tying the low mark in the state with Goldfield, who saw high temperatures today at 50 degrees. Out in Beatty, it was 58 degrees, 34 for a low. In Amargosa, saw as much as 63 degrees, and you're getting into room temperature, Amargosa. Look at you, 37 for a low. And Las Vegas saw nothing but 59 degrees, 44 for a low. Out in Death Valley, it was 72 and 47 for a low tonight. And here in the paradise of Pahrump, where the grass is green, the air is pure, the Thai food is not too bad. 58 degrees is our current temperature. 62 is our high today. Winds blowing at us from the southeast at 11 miles per hour. We got a little bit of humidity, some clouds. The sun rose gloriously this morning at 6:44 and went to bed at a little after 5:11 p.m. We'll see 44 for a low tonight. East-southeast of the winds to 8 miles per hour kicking in there. And that humidity is sticking with us. And we'll have some clouds coming up tomorrow. But check this out for the rest of the week. Whoa, looks like blue skies shining on me. Nothing but blue skies. Temperatures up to 67 degrees. Good Lord. This is turning into something pretty wonderful. Highs reliably in the low to mid 60s and up to as much as 67 degrees. Winds blowing at us a little bit, 10, 12 miles per hour. It'll calm down just a little bit Friday, Saturday, but clear skies, just light winds, moderate, wonderful temperatures. Lows at night above freezing. You know, it's getting there. It's going to be a beautiful week at Pahrump. Hope you're going to stick with it and enjoy it. If anything scary comes up, we'll let you know. But back to the desk with Missy and Deanna.
So we want to remind everybody that you can go to Southern Nevada Health District. There are several locations in Las Vegas that are doing COVID-19 vaccinations. And it's easy. You just click on the area where it says book an appointment as you scroll down the page. And you can find different locations that have appointments. Of course, NyeCounty.net has their COVID-19 vaccination site right on their main landing page, and then you can go over to where you can get a vaccination and fill out an interest form for a vaccination. They are doing individuals who are 70 and above right now.
And you can also check with your local pharmacies as well. They're getting a limited number of vaccines, and those appointments go pretty quick, but just keep trying. If you want to get a vaccine, just got to keep trying.
Yeah, you do. You just keep updating the pages or going to the pages, and because once they get some new vaccinations and they restart booking appointments. And the thing is, on NyeCounty.net, if you can't use the Facebook page or the website, they have a phone number that you can call, which is super simple to book an appointment as well. Right. Well, that's going to wrap up this edition of News 25. I'm Deanna O'Donnell.
I'm Missy Culver. Thanks for watching and have a great night.
Good night. Yeah.